Hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Brett Moore, can you hear me? Okay. Well, good afternoon. This is Alex Johnson. Welcome to the Tuesday, March 22nd board meeting. I'm not board meeting, club meeting. This is being all. Oh, let's start the meeting. All right. Well, we have a great number of people in person, online. I think Roxanne has let people know we're doing a
Two
special
mics are on, you're echoing.
meeting today. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to kind of change the order of doing things. We're not
You need to mute.
but we are going to be doing, we're going to start off the meeting.
We can't hear the normal folks now.
I was about to say, I can't hear. Is it just me?
Nope. I think they want to mute. Oh, there we go.
Oh. I think we have a little.
Oh, can you hear us?
Yep, we can hear you now.
Yeah, this is good
Okay.
now.
So Tamara, can you hear us?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, we're going to ask you to lead us in our invocation.
All right, let's bow our heads. Father, we just thank you for such a wonderful and awesome day that you have made for us. We're so grateful to be in the family of God and to be in your care. Lord, we honor and worship and adore you today, and we ask that you arise on the throne of our hearts and be exalted in Jesus' name. Lord, we bless this meeting and we present it to you because your word says if we commit our works unto you, our thoughts shall be established. So we give you this meeting, Lord, and we pray that we will do as your will is for us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I don't have host. John, can you give me host capability, co-host?
Let me do this here. Where are you? Actually, I can't do it either. John Stafford, can you hear us?
Done.
Can you give Norma's tab? There we go. All right. There we go. Well, now we're going to have Brett Moore lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Next. Brett, you're muted. You look good,
Okay,
though.
you guys got me? Okay, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Awesome. Thank you. No, we liked your practice, though. It got us all prepared. Well, now I'm going to turn this over to, I'm sorry, we have a very, we're doing a very unique meeting today. We have a visit, something we haven't been doing lately. So Catherine, I think we have some visitors. Can you tell us about our visitors here? Let me bring you the mic.
Yes, today we have a special Rotary visiting today. His name is Shankar. And let's see, got him in the camera. And he's from the Rotary Club of Bombay. So welcome. And Glenn tells me that we have a flag to give you so we can exchange flags. And we also have Nadia, who has visited with us before and is considering joining us.
Well, we're going to do an experience there. So come on up. So does anybody have a camera with all these phones? Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a flag exchange. For those that don't know, this is a Rotary tradition. We actually have I don't know what we call it, a thing that has lots of flags. A big banner that has lots of flags. So when we have visiting Rotarians, they bring their flag. Then
Hey,
also,
Alex,
when we travel,
Alex, can you mute Glenn's mic because it's echoing?
then also when we travel, you go to another Rotary club, we'll get you one of these and you do a flag exchange. So I travel, like for example, I'm gonna be in Washington in a couple weeks. I'm visiting a Rotary club, I'll do a flag exchange with them. So that way we have a lot of little flags from people that visit us and clubs that our members visit. So I would like to say thank you to Shankar for visiting our club. And I'm very proud to do a flag exchange with you. Yes. We're very honored to have you visit our club, and I understand you have a few words you'd like to say to our members.
Yeah, it's not much, but just a small piece of introduction of our club and what we do. I also have a folder with a lot of past projects listed in there, which will circulate amongst all of you. As far as our club is concerned, we come under the District 3141, which is Bombay and the suburbs. We have around 80 clubs and 4,000 members or so. My club is small and also new. We started around 7 years ago. And the problems that we face in our community are quite different from the developed world. We have problems which you can never associate with, particularly with the slums, the education, the hygiene, and things like that. And we have projects which are regular ongoing projects as well as flagship projects. And on the ongoing projects, we associate with people who can go down to the slums and do all activities like distribution of food, clothing, and many other stuff. We do a lot of health checkups and things like that for these people. And we also participate in a lot of school activities and help to organize competitions which will develop the intellect of the children. And the flagship projects, I'm happy to tell you that we have done 2 projects of the global grant. And because of the COVID, we had done lots of work with respect to distribution of sanitizers, masks, food. In fact, many of the people who couldn't get the livelihood because there's no business, and we went around distributing food packets to each and every one in the slums. That is one of the greatest things we did. We also got a lot of this COVID testing kits, oxygen generators, and in fact, we got a grant from Taiwan, and we installed an oxygen plant, which is maybe around $120,000 or so. So that's the kind of work which you did. My particular aim here to address to you is on a special project which we have taken up, which is related to the handicapped children, which is autistic children. There is a school which is run by a trust, which is devoid of all funds. Buildings are all dilapidated. And we have taken up this project about 2-3 years ago. And we have refurbished the entire 6 classrooms on one side, the assembly hall on the other side, and also another room of about 6 or 8 classrooms, which is getting inundated with the floods during the monsoon. We have refurbished the whole thing. The place was very unsafe for people to even sit there, which we have rectified everything. Now the phase 4, which is underway, and which requires around $20,000 or so, I will send you the proposal, and whatever way your club can help participate in our activities, it'll be all welcome. So That's my request. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for visiting our club. Excellent. So now it's the member moment with Roxanne.
Okay, this is gonna be fun. So we're gonna take it's gonna be just 15 seconds. So each person is gonna say a fun fact about yourself, and also you're gonna say a fun professional fact about yourself. And yes, no, no, Alex. So I'm gonna give you a sample of fun facts, so I'll make it easier for you. Some questions will be, what is your favorite hobby? If you could go anywhere in the world, where would it be? Describe your ideal day. And also like example of professional fact is like, what motivates you in your professional life? Do you have any long-term careers? How do you see yourself in 5 years? And if you are not working, that is okay, because you can, who inspires you in your life and why? What's your favorite instrument? What was your favorite class when you were growing up? So each of us will have about 20 seconds. And whenever you're done talking, you're gonna mention somebody else to start talking. So everybody needs to pay attention to see who hasn't spoken. And then at the end of this, Mr. Bo Carter is gonna do a trivia, and there's a really good prize. So, okay, I'm gonna start myself. If I could eat one cuisine, the same thing every day, it will be Italian food, because I just love meatballs and pasta. And I could eat that every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And when I was studying in college, I started to study Japanese, to the point that I became a Japanese interpreter when I finished college. And I loved it. I love culture, Japanese culture. And so that's it. So Joanna is gonna be the next one.
Howdy, y'all. Okay, fun fact about me. I'm actually, I'll stand up here.
Yeah, thank you.
I am actually a native Texan. I moved away from Texas when I was 3 years old and came back to Texas when I was 15. But I did go to school in Texas. Professionally, I do play the harp, and I am available for weddings, funerals, bar mitzvahs. And I'll pick Lisa.
Where do I start? Something that's kind of like a little bit unusual is when I was growing up, both my parents were entrepreneurs, and one of them, my father owned a go-kart track. So I learned how to drive when I was about 5 years old. I learned how to race cars with my brothers, which was not probably very safe, but anyhow, and my mother owned a gymnastics school. She started the very first gymnastics school in Mobile, Alabama, which is where I am from originally. Let's see, I'm trying to think of any other fun. I love Thai food. I could eat Thai food every day. A place I still want to go to is Fiji. That's on my bucket list. In 5 years, I want to be a 5-year cancer survivor. Yeah.
You don't get to say no. You don't get to say no. This is not about you.
Let me get a mouthful of food here. I forgot what we're doing. But I can tell you professional funny. It's funny now. I do a lot of benefits for companies, and I had this big meeting set up, and I'm in their boardroom, and all the execs, and I pull out my proposal, and I brought the wrong file. It's funny now. And the president stood up and said, well, that gives me a free hour. Anyway, so what's the other assignment? Professional facts. For what? Personal. Well, I'm married. I got 4 kids, 9 grandkids at home.
That's
Like
all
to
good.
hunt. And when my free time, I come spend time with you.
Now let's pick somebody from
All right. Okay, Brett, you're next.
Okay, let me make sure I'm unmuted this time. Okay. So personal fact, I played music in a rock and roll band for like 3 years professionally.
Was your hair long?
I had hair at the time. We did a lot of not great things for our bodies and minds, but it was a wild trip. Professionally, I tallied this up the other day for a presentation. I have packed more than 10,000 boxes, probably over 2,000 moves in my life. So I've moved a lot of families, and it's led me to some really cool places, flying on private planes and staying in high-rise condos in Miami Beach and all kinds of cool stuff. You know, obviously some crazy stuff as well, but that was fun. I can't see anybody hardly, so I'm gonna rely on you guys to pick who's next, if that's okay.
Michael Cook, he was busy.
I am ready. I'm absolutely ready. Professionally, I started a company with my wife, and we are still in business and married 2 years later. So that's positive. Personally, I played professional volleyball when I graduated from high school. That means I got paid to play volleyball, and I played for 2 years. And food, that's a hard one. I would go with dessert. Is that a food? Is that just general desserts all across the board for me? I'll go with Tamara next, since we're doing the online, folks.
Okay, hello everyone. In the next, no, what am I saying? Oh, if I could be anywhere right now, I would be in South Africa, in the country of Zambia. I have a godson and his family there, and I'm dying to go. And in the next 5 years, I'll own a couple of chiropractic clinics instead of just one. And I will choose
What about somebody in person, Tamara?
somebody in person. I can't see you. Where's Joy? Joy.
I
know she's there.
She's happy.
You didn't see the daggers. I've been sitting here struggling.
I can't see Joy. I just know you're there.
There. Something personal about me. I was a dancer in high school. Couldn't probably do it now to save my life. Something professional. I think I have the best job in the whole world because I get to work with a team of people that I love, that are like family. And it's spent providing services for my favorite population in the world, what I always called no derogatory, nothing derogatory made by this, but little old people. And I will pick Kelly. Don't make Hey everybody, I'm Kelly, and personal, not a lot of people know this, but I'm half Turkish, and but my mother and my biological dad actually met at the college that I went to, which is Georgia State in Atlanta, which is where I'm from. So but I'm actually actively trying to find my father at the moment, and obviously my dream vacation is to go to Istanbul. Favorite food, Mediterranean. Actually, I'll eat anything. And then professionally, I really started my career in Plano. It means a lot to me, this place. I got started as a reporter, and that was like 11 years ago. And today I have the best job I could ask for working for the city, and I've gotten to know so many people, and I just love being here. And I'm going to. Good afternoon, everyone. Nadia Taj. I'm health and fitness coach, and fun, maybe not so fun fact for you right now. I'm from St. Petersburg. Guess what country it is? Russia. And in my childhood, I was really bad at sports. In fact, I was afraid of the ball, like a tennis ball or any kind of ball, and hated skiing. And I ran 2 kilometers and fell down and thought I was dying. And the only college I actually was able to get in was psychology. And I'm afraid of heights, so I did jump the plane one time. And of professional fact, in the morning, whether I feel it or not, I wake up because I know healthier world is happier world, and a happier world is peaceful world. And another fun professional fact, if you're working out with me, doing my classes or personal, we're going to count down the plank in Russian, 10, 9, 8, 7. And then I say, you're done. And then you can collapse. All right, I'm going to pick, can I?
Let's do one personal fact, one professional fact.
It becomes a lot of information. Alex.
Oh. I have no clue.
Yes.
Okay, what are we doing again? I'm sorry. One personal fact. I'm from Fairbanks, Alaska. I was born and raised. So not an Eskimo. If you're not a Native American, you're called a sourdough. So I'm a sourdough if you've been in Alaska, I think, for 10 years or more. And so professional fact, I've just transitioned from part-time coaching to full-time coaching, which I love doing because I like helping entrepreneurs succeed. And that's a lot of exciting thing. My favorite food, wow. It's not very exotic. I love pizza. I love other things, but I love pizza. So I think that's it, right? We're cutting it off now. We got one more left.
Hi, I'm Brian Joseph. I was just mentioning to Kelly that I also went to Georgia State. So I have never met anyone else for a long, long time that went to Georgia State. A fun fact is that my family, so I'm from the Caribbean, my wife is Kenyan, and my kids are American. So it's all United Nations in my household. A professional fact about me is that I've been in software development, and I also went to, for some time, I also went to the University of Wyoming, and from there I did a master's in international studies, and that got me to China, where I also studied, and I'm proud to say that one of my bucket list items was on the Great Wall, which I visited in Beijing, which was really nice. So.
Okay, that was fun.
Mr. Bo, we're ready for your trivia.
Here's the trivia question for an autographed Dizzy Dean biography. Who was Dizzy Dean's partner, the second partner actually, but the one for the most of his tenure with CBS on television in the 1950s and early 60s?
Everybody hear that online?
Did y'all hear that online? Dizzy Dean's majority broadcast analyst on CBS Game of the Week.
Any baseball fans?
Any baseball?
I remember Dizzy.
Who is, what's his name? Yeah. Yeah, his analyst. Glenn, you know?
No, I know Dizzy, but I don't know his.
Okay. Another quick one. What was the team that Dizzy Dean played for the majority of his career? Their color is red.
Cardinals.
Cardinals, you got it.
You get an autographed book. Awesome. Awesome. Well, Roxana, thank you very much. That was a fantastic member moment. By popular demand, we're going to do some type of member moment every month. So be ready. Just kind of gives us the ability of getting to know each other more. All right. Well, in terms of foundation, I want to ask a question. You go ahead and flip the slide. Who here gives to nonprofits? Anybody? Okay, why do you give to a nonprofit? Because you believe in their mission. Anybody else? Another reason you give to a nonprofit? And usually that mission is doing something, right? They're making an impact on society. Well, that is what the Rotary Foundation is about. A lot of people forget that the Rotary Foundation is a nonprofit and its mission is doing good in the world. And the people who do those good in the world are us Rotary clubs. And we have thousands of Rotary clubs all over the world, and each Rotary club is doing good in their community. And so what we do as Rotarians, we promote giving to either we give personally or we promote the public to donate to the Rotary Foundation so that we Rotarians can do good in our communities. And I like this, it's kind of putting the Rotary Foundation in our mission. The Rotary Foundation helps Rotarians to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through improving health, providing quality education, improving the environment, and alleviating poverty. So these are all the different ways that we as Rotarians are using the Rotary Foundation to impact the world. What's very awesome about our foundation, a lot of people don't realize this, we've got a perfect score in Charity Navigator the last 13 years in a row. Perfect. If you look at Charity Navigator, 100 out of 100. It's a very, very, very small number of nonprofits that can achieve that, because Charity Navigator, they're very hardcore. They're looking for extreme level of impact, utilization of funds. As it says here, 91% of the donations to the foundation are used to do good. That's why we support our foundation. And we're the ones that are doing those good. You know, right now we use it for our district grants. We use our district grants to do our scholarship programs for Camp Ryla and our high school scholarships. That's how we're doing good in the community. There's always, and I showed last week, all the other different ways other Rotary clubs in DFW are using the Rotary Foundation to do good. Now, there's an initiative in the Rotary Foundation, which last year we achieved it. It's called Every Rotarian Every Year. And what that means is, if every club member gives a minimum of $25 in a year, $25, that's like a couple Starbucks. That gives us the ability of achieving every Rotarian every year. Now, with that said, we also have to have a per capita giving of 100. That means if you take our members and our total giving as a club, divide it by the number, it's 100 per. So that's one thing that we need to do in order to qualify for our district grants. But if every single member personally gives 25, then we qualify as every Rotarian every year. And like this chart says, you know, the donors that give between $25 to $50 contributed more than $5 million to the foundation last Rotary year. So that $25 for every member really counts. And that's really the point of what I'm talking about now is, if you've given to the foundation already this year, awesome. If you haven't, give $25. I mean, just at a bare minimum. Yeah, it's nice to win the awards. We actually won 4 Rotary Foundation awards last year. We don't carry our banners up, but it's not about the awards. It's about what we're doing, the good that we're doing. And then these other stats, the different money given, 2,000 global grants were given. It doesn't show the district grants. And then the way to give. Wait 1 second, please. You could do it through Rotary Direct. That's through myrotary.org. Or you could actually go to rotary.org/donate. And then at our website, everybody knows, same place you pay your dues. There's also a button that says to the Rotary Foundation. What happens is, just so people are very clear, we are not a 501c3, we're a 501c4. So when you donate to the club, we immediately send it to the Rotary Foundation. And so that way you are getting credit from a 501c. A lot of people get that confused. So you give it to the club, we immediately transfer it to the foundation. So that way you are registered as a 501c3 giver through the foundation, or you can send it directly. And so these are the different ways, use as a gift or honor. Remember someone, I just did that for my mom. And you could also do corporate matching. Actually, Tara Bidwell did that. She works for Blue Cross Blue Shield. She filled out the paperwork. So Blue Cross Blue Shield matches her giving to the foundation. So if you work for a company, you could do that as well. So with that, I'm going to go through club business, and then we have our special speaker. So Glenn says he still would like some donated laptop. He has to, now that, well, as soon as district assembly is over, he will have some breathing room, and then he's going to test out the gear so we can have a consistent computer setup, so it's not rotating depending on who's doing it. Zane, oh, so if you have a laptop, text Glenn or bring it to a meeting. You see his number up there. Zane would like to have some more people on our district awards nominating committee. So text him if you want to do that. I don't know how many people are. Is anybody here? Oh, anybody on this committee now? We'll see. That's probably why he needs more. So Brian, you are? Awesome. Excuse me? The district awards nominating committee. So go ahead and text Zane and he'll tell you all about it. And then Laura, she's doing our social events. We're trying to do something every month socially. We do have our happy hour at Molly's house in April, but she needs more houses for May, June, for May and June specifically. So if you want to volunteer your house for a happy hour, just get together. I think, as I said before, we'd like to do it as a house instead of a bar because it's BYOB and it's a lot cheaper. If we do it at a bar, everybody's spending money. So if we don't get a house for May, then we will end up doing it at a bar, and then it is what it is. So if you want to volunteer your house, please do that. We have district assembly coming up this weekend. How many people do we have from the club, Joy? Do you know?
I think 7.
7. That's what we had last week. So come on, we need more people to sign up. It's great training. It costs $15. We're going to reimburse you and support. If you're on Joy's leadership team next year, go to district assembly for one, to get the knowledge. And then more importantly, you're going to meet other Rotarians. You're going to get a view about what's going on in the district. Also, the Rotary Leadership Institute, that's actually virtual training. The first section is 4 sessions that take place on March 29th, 31st, 4th, and 7th. I think we have 3 of our club members have signed up for it. Roxana, you're one. And I think Brett Moore is one. And I can't remember who the other person was, but I think there's 2 spots left. Once again, we'll reimburse you. It's over Zoom. It's at night. It's 5:30 to 7:30. So it's easy. And this is part of, it's a real comprehensive training on Rotary in general. And you're going to be able to meet a lot of Rotarians across Texas, virtually, of course. So if you want to do that, I didn't have enough room, text me and I'll email you the information to register for it. And then we do have Molly at Molly's house, our happy hour on April 8th. Everybody should have gotten an e-vite for it, or contact Laura. There's her number, text her, let her know you want to go, and she'll make sure you get the e-vite. And last but not least, we have the Rotary International Convention on June 4th. You can still register. And as I said, I think the district is coordinating transportation, although I haven't seen that, but you will find out if you register for it. Woo! So we got a lot of things going on from a club business perspective. And so you guys can take a picture of it if you want to see it. And let's talk about last weekend. We had 2 projects last weekend. Early in the morning, we had delivering furniture, a partnership with Bed Start. I heard that really went well. And then in the entire day, we had our adoption awareness, First time in 3 years we've been able to do it. Woohoo! And I heard it went fantastically well. How many total volunteers did we have?
About 50.
About 50 volunteers. We had a lot of other Rotary clubs join us with that. So we had about 50% Rotarians, 50% non-Rotarians. How many kids did we help?
33, I think. Yeah.
Wow. Isn't that like more than double what we did?
Yeah, more. It's more.
33 kids that we made a positive impact, and hopefully they'll be able to find a family. And I know in the past, CPS used to follow up and tell us how many went the next step. And
We're going to try to get that.
And we have when we did this in the past, we had a high probability of kids that were able to move to the next step and finding a foster family. So let's pray we continue with that success.
Adoptive family.
Adopted family,
Yeah.
yes. And so let's pray we continue to have that success. Now, oh, definitely, because they're creating families. Yes, and so it's very exciting. Now, upcoming projects, because Mr. Bo Carter is eager to come up here and speak. And so we have today our food pantry at Armstrong Middle School. On Thursday, I guess the 24th is, food pantry at Bowman Middle School. And then this weekend, we have 2 projects, but only one. I think we still need a couple volunteers. Funnel cakes at Texas Forever Fest. We need 1 volunteer. And so sign up. It's a lot of fun. We haven't made funnel cakes in a couple of years either. And so we almost forgot how. And so, and go to Texas Forever Festival anyway, but make some funnel cakes and enjoy it. I have a feeling Kelly has a bit to do with this thing. For those that don't know, Kelly handles marketing PR for the Plano Parks Department, and this is part of Parks, isn't it? So all the marketing, like it, because that tell you Kelly's behind it when you see it. Support her efforts. And then we have our 4-way test speech contest. That's Saturday morning. That's at Plano Senior High School. They don't need any more volunteers, but we're partnering with Plano Sunrise, Plano East, Plano Metro, and our club. All 4 Rotary clubs are participating in this, having students participate. And then each club will have 3 that will compete in our club contest. And that is next weekend, next Tuesday. I won't be here. Zane's going to run the meeting. You guys are going to be able to have 3 students give a 4-way test speech. So it's always fantastic to watch that. And then we have Rallison on the 28th. So now I'm going to ask Kelly to come up and introduce our speaker.
Great, Rob. You have the slide. There was so much I had to print it out because it was really impressive. It is my pleasure to introduce Bo Carter. Can everybody see me where? Should I stand right here?
That's good.
Is this good? Okay. So Bo, like me, well, not like me, he's way more, that's way bigger resume than I do. But he's a 52-year professional in college athletics and has helped author 7 sports books over the last 3 decades. He was in the sports information office at Mississippi State from 74 to 86. Later served as an assistant commissioner for media relations at both the Southwest and Big 12 conferences before he became a consultant for the National Football Foundation in 2006. Bo Carter is a member of the College Sports Information Directors of America Hall of Fame and has lived in the Dallas area since 1986. I'm not done, but wait, there's more. I'm seriously, I'd never heard of you, Bo, but he has worked with 27 NCAA Baseball World Series, 6 men's and women NCAA basketball Final Fours, 72 total postseason football games, and the list goes on. He is the media man of sports, Mr. Bo Carter.
Good afternoon, Alex, Glenn, all y'all. Thanks for having me. The lady from Mobile, Alabama, back there grew up in Sheffield, which is on the 320 miles away. Alabama is a long state, like Georgia is wide. for you Georgia State folks in Alabama, just goes from the Tennessee River to the Gulf, so it's a long way down here. But first of all, let me thank the Rotary Club for all you guys do. I wish I'd been an Interact in high school. I was a key clubber. Please forgive me. They let us go to the Kiwanis Club, and my brother one time coming back from a joint lunch and wrecked our car on the way back. So that was we have bad memories of Kiwanis Club meetings. So that's all right. One thing, just thank y'all so much for all you do in the community. I also looked on the Ukraine Rotary Club website, and they, there's a big thing. We need help. So anyway, Red Cross, Rotary Club, anything you can do. It's really a tragic situation. Everybody can, can assist on that. And not everybody in Russia is pro attack. So that's fantastic. Sorry to be political here, but again, thanks for all the Rotary Club does internationally and everywhere else. Had a good friend that was part of the leadership group that goes to Waxahachie every year that tutors high school students. So that's another great way to do it. And I'm very proud to be a member of the Farmers Branch Carrollton Rotary Club flag group. Y'all might have done this before. The Rotary Club and the Boy Scouts in that area have put a flag base in your yard, and on every national holiday and some either just special events, they will come and put a flag down for a week to celebrate the thing. It's really a wonderful way to share your patriotic spirit. And the base has a Rotary Club plug on there. So I probably need to have a little Rotary flag underneath the American flag to celebrate. What I was going to talk to you about, and this is great timing too, Alex, because the lockout finally ended for Major League Baseball last week. They've started spring training. The Rangers had a game yesterday. It was 27-15. It sounded like a football game, but I think they were just taking batting practice against each other with the Cleveland Indians. But the book we've written, and one of the 7 books, or 8 now, we're about to do a 50. We're in the process of doing a 50-year anniversary of the Texas Rangers, who came to Arlington in 1972. They were the old Washington Senators and came out here thanks to Mayor Tom Vandergrift and several other people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that helped them get here. But be sure to pick one of those up. The Rangers game is sort of a magazine thing. It'll be a lot of fun. The 50 greatest moments in Rangers history. And Mike, there weren't many 50 good moments. So have a couple of Nolan Ryan fights and some other stuff, and the Rangers getting killed in a few games. But it's sort of a fun book. But the Dizzy Dean book, I don't know. Dizzy Dean, of course, passed away in 1974, but he's one of the pioneers in Major League in baseball television, also a member of the Baseball Hall of Fame. And interestingly, his career spanned about 8 or 9 seasons. He won 154 games. He's the last National League Baseball player to win 30 games in 1934 when the Cardinals won the pennant. His brother, Paul, who was nicknamed Daffy by the sports writers, Kelly, you know how this goes. He didn't like the nickname Daffy. He'd rather be called Paul. But Paul lived in the Dallas area for some years. His daughter still is around here or whatever, too. They wonderful family. And Dizzy had a home had a ranch in Lancaster for several years. And in fact, was a foreman of jury that helped a friend of mine. They were foreclosing on his house. And this guy later became a professor at North Texas for 54 years, but they were about to be thrown out on the street. And Dizzy Dean was the foreman of the jury that awarded them their home back from the realty company. Great story there. The man who helped 3 of us worked the book, a gentleman, Mark McDonald, that some of y'all, Kelly, you probably remember him as a sports writer with the Dallas Times Herald and the Morning News before you were born, probably. But his publishing company helped us get published. Gene Kirby was the producer for the CBS Baseball Television Game of the Week from 1955 to 1966. He was also a great PR guy. He was the play-by-play voice of Army football for, I think, 3 or 4 years. Did the old St. Louis Hawks and the National Basketball, which are now the Atlanta Hawks for you Georgia State folks. And Gene started writing this book on a Selectric typewriter in 1968. Some people who knew Gene, several of us here in the Society for American Baseball Research, knew that he wanted to get the book published. This was around 2006 or 7. And SMU Press agreed to publish the book 39 years after he started it. Wonderful deal. We met with the press. And then 3 months later, we found out that SMU Press was going out of business. So, oh my gosh. So poor Gene is like 88 years old at this point. He's just about in tears. And we shopped it around to Macmillan, several of the other longtime baseball publishers. And Random House Harpers, the whole group, and nobody had an interest. And unfortunately, Gene, really sad situation. Gene was walking in Tampa, Florida, where he lived, and got hit by a car. Survived it, but it brought on dementia and Alzheimer's, and he passed away at the age of 95, just about 2 years before we got the book published. But his daughter and two sons have been very instrumental in the publishing of it. And Mark McDonald's publishing company, amazingly called Dust Devil Press in Midland, Texas, a great West Texas publishing company, got it published in 2016 for us. We had really good sales. Just got back from a trip to St. Louis in the fall, and we had many sales of that. But very quickly about Dizzy Dean here, and I'll leave a couple of minutes open for Q&A. He did pitch for the started with the Cardinals in 1930. His greatest year was in 1934 when he won 30 games, as we mentioned, lost 7. And there's a little bit of Kelly, you can appreciate this, some shady. Shady's not a good word, but there's some interesting stuff going around it. He was given victories by official scorers, who are the people that determine the winners and losers in baseball games. I think a couple of times he was in relief or whatever, and because he was getting close to 30 wins, they gave him the win anyway, even though the game was tied when he left the game. So very strange there. And but he did get to 30 games, amazingly. Gene Kirby, with the try-off through the book, also had from the Sporting News magazine, which was like the Bible of baseball for years and years, had a mounted thing with the box scores from all of 30 wins that Dizzy Dean had, and his wife had that in Wiggins, Mississippi for several years before he died. Dizzy Dean was quite a character. He loved to gamble. Unfortunately, he died in Reno after after a card game, I think, or had a heart attack, probably lost $1,000 or whatever. Avid golfer. He was a big friend of Doak Walker. Mike and some of your football fans remember Doak Walker, the Heisman Trophy winner from SMU. They played golf for high stakes for years and years. But amazingly, one other quick fact, and I'll open it for Q&A. Dizzy was a pioneer in integration. He was from, he told sports writers he was from 3 different cities, just to give them 3 different stories or whatever. But I think he actually grew up in Lucas, Arkansas, which they've got the plaque on the town sign out there that says he was born in Lucas, Arkansas. But he was a great, sort of a pioneer in civil rights for a guy that lived in Mississippi most of his life and then lived in Dallas. They would go on barnstorming tours in the off season from baseball. And Satchel Paige and some of the great players from the Negro Leagues, y'all probably remember Ernie Banks, who was from Dallas and has a statue down there at the downtown high school, was one of their early finds. And Satchel Paige was one of the great Negro Leagues pitchers. Actually pitched when you're 46 years old. We think he might have been 48 or 49. He lied on his birth certificate, but he pitched for the Cleveland Indians in the late 1940s. And Dizzy Dean, Satchel Paige, and several people would go on tours of the South and Midwest and South and Northeast in the off season and play. They call barnstorming tours. They pass the hat at the end of the game, and people would pay him a couple of $1,000s. So that was he really sort of helped the civil rights movement with that again. And again, just one of the real characters of all time. If you get a chance, I gave cards to most of y'all or whatever. It's B. Carter at Football Foundation. If you know of a friend or a family member that would like to order a book, we gave Alex an autographed copy for being nice enough to have us tonight. Kelly, I'll try to get you one before you leave too. We appreciate that. And again, just so much, thank you so much for having us. I really appreciate all that Rotary does. A couple of minutes for questions and answers, Alex, or any questions?
Was Dizzy Dean, did he sing the Wabash Cannonball?
Yes. That's
what I remember.
Just in the middle of ball game. Dizzy was not a good television announcer. I forgot to point that out. Good point, Glenn. He would sit there and tell stories about being barefoot and picking cotton in Arkansas when he was 7 years old. And he dropped out of school in the 3rd grade, and his grammar was so bad. He was doing radio for the St. Louis Cardinals in the 1940s, and the English teachers in St. Louis and Granite City and Belleville, Illinois, tried to get. If you've ever seen the movie The Pride of St. Louis, this is hilarious. But they called the radio station, said, "We want this guy off the air. He's saying ain't and shoulda and woulda and slid into third." And he had the worst grammar of all time. And then he threatened to resign on the air. And then the English teachers went back to the St. Louis Cardinals and said, "No, just keep learning, all those boys, everything you're doing." So he butchered the English language, always told stories. And sometime during the ball game, he'd start saying, Wabash Cannonball.
Wabash Cannonball, yeah.
And he would lean at the thing and he would yell at the third base coach, hey, son, hey, Whitey, what are you doing? He said, Wabash Cannonball. And he made a recording of it with Roy Acuff, the great country singer who I think it sold about 15 copies. But it was quite good. But time for another question. And I'll end it up here. Yes, ma'am. Kelly?
That you work on several books, right?
Yes.
How playing with the process?
Well, on 3 of them, the guy that was, most of them worked with another author or 2. 3 of them, the author knew he wasn't going to make deadlines. So he called yours truly, Mr. Nice Guy, and said, hey, I've got 2 months to write this book on the Big 12 Conference. I got 2 months to finish this book on Texas A&M football or whatever. And they said, can you sit down at the computer and give me 40,000 words? Yeah, I guess so. If anything else, we can go to a computer and be verbose. But the hard part today, especially with sports books or any books, finding publishers, they're shrinking. It's unfortunate. Kids aren't reading enough. At least they'll get Kindle and read them like that. But if in your Rotary educational foundations, please encourage kids to read. It's the best thing they can do, and one among your great service projects. Thank you so much. And one other thing, the president of our Key Club, who went to the Air Force Academy, was a classmate of Sully Sullenberger, the guy that landed the plane on Hudson. So my friend that was the Key Club president went the easy way. He became a pilot for FedEx for 35 years. So he flew stuff all over the country, didn't land planes on the Hudson River. But anyway, but thank y'all so much for having me today, Alex, Glenn. Thank y'all so much. Okay, 1 or 2 more questions. Now, I didn't want to run y'all. I know y'all are on a good timetable here.
Any other baseball fans? I didn't know Glenn was a baseball fan.
Glenn, you were a football official in high school or college? Or Mike, you were high school.
Mike.
Mike, you were high school. Would you George Dallas area or all over? Or good. And for a lady from Mobile too, our high school one time made it to the state championship one time. They played Atmore High School, the home of the state prison in Alabama. I think they had some prison kids playing for Atmore, but they defeated our high school team in the only state championship they ever played, 7-6. But it was a fun game. I think everybody drove 350 miles and then got inebriated on the way back, wherever to drown their sorrows. But and for Georgia State folks, Dizzy Dean led the parade when the Atlanta Braves moved from Milwaukee to Atlanta. He was such a folk hero. He became a real big folk hero in the South because no ESPN at that time. CBS had the only 2 games of the week. They called it the CBS Game of the Week on Saturday and Sunday. And they did about 80% of them from Yankee Stadium because they later bought the New York Yankees. So little hometown cooking there. But Alex, thank y'all so much. Glenn, Kelly, thank you for the nice
Oh, thank you very much. Before you leave, I have a question. What is the one takeaway you want us to go with about Dizzy Dean?
Well, that he was quite a character, part of baseball history. Go back if you get Google Dizzy Dean, Paul Dean, his brother, not liking Daffy, but a wonderful character. Got to the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown with the fewest wins of any pitcher over there because he was sort of he was such a great fan of the writers loved him and many other people enjoyed being with him. So he was sort of a self-promoter there, but quite a great guy for baseball.
Vanna White.
That's right.
Then I had a question. Actually, you're telling so many stories. How do you keep up with all of
Just being old. That's what happened being around stuff. Some of them have been repeated. I hope I haven't repeated. If I come back to this group and repeat stories, please don't. But
next year you have to give us new stories.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Well, I figure being an announcer, you have to be fast. You still have to come back up. You keep on wanting to get away from me here. We're never going to let you go.
Thank you, sir.
Well, in appreciation for your time and program, Plano West Rotary, we're going to donate $10 in your name to the Rotary Foundation, our Polio Plus Fund. And then together with the 2-to-1 matching funds from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, that $10 will turn into 30, which will go towards vaccinating kids. We're down to 2 countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan. So we're so close. And you may not know this, everybody else hears this. Rotary, we use our polio infrastructure for COVID-19 vaccinations. especially in the underdeveloping countries. So we're not only eliminating polio, we're aiding in the global vaccinations of COVID-19. So we're going to make this donation in your name. You're going to get information back from the Rotary Foundation, so they'll recognize the fact that you're one of their contributors. Thank you very much for coming to our fund. And he gave me this book autographed, and what, Mike, you got the other one, right? So you're gonna have, Bo, you're gonna have to call me and Mike in a week, and you're gonna have to quiz us about what's in the book. Because we do, notice we wear the same shirts, we're like Rotary twins. All right, well, it was awesome having you. And it was great, Roxana, for she just made it up. I had no idea what she was gonna do. Wasn't that awesome, you guys?
Yeah.
It was great. And I love having Shankar as our visiting Rotarian. We got our first banner in 3 years.
3 years.
It's almost like we're a new club. Everything's happening. Adoption awareness. We got a banner. We're having, this is the most, I got to tell you guys, in the last 2 years, this is the first time we've had more people in person than online. Wow. I mean, this is normally we were about 15 to 20 online. So this is pretty interesting, and we're kind of building up in crowds. So the fellowship is important. And we fellowship at our service projects, we fellowship at our social events, we fellowship at our meetings. And so fellowship is key. Next week, we are going to have the 4-way test speech contest here. So just to further explain how that works is, hey, Jen, hey there. Jen Schertzer is the reason why we're able to have Bo Carter as our speaker. So thank you, Jen, for connecting me with Bo. So this Saturday, Julia Lynn has coordinated, she's done all the planning for the all Plano 4-way test speech contest. That's at Plano Senior High School with the 4 Rotary clubs, including us, and all the high schools. And so I actually don't know how many students are there, but I'm thinking at least 20. And each Rotary club is going to select 3 competitors to speak to our club. And we're going to focus on the clubs that we sponsor for Interact, which is Plano Senior High School, Clark High School, and Vines High School. Just in turn, Plano Metro, they're going to focus on Plano West High School, Jasper High School, and Shupton High School. And John Paul II, that's where the schools they sponsor for Interact. Plano East sponsors Plano East Senior High School. And then, no, Plano East, I don't know who they sponsor. Plano Sunrise sponsors Plano East Senior High. It's hard to keep up with all these Rotary clubs and all these high schools. And so, but on next Tuesday, I'm not going to be here. Zane's going to run the meeting, but it's really going to be the speakers. We're going to have 3 students from those high schools that we work with Interact, and they're going to be giving amazing speeches on a 4-way test. So I encourage you to watch it or watch the recording. So it'll be very exciting. And then next, I can't remember who, Brian, come on up. Brian is gonna lead, come on up. You're the next contestant on the 4-way test. See, he was doing TikToks over there.
No, I make sure I have it on my phone. So the 4-way test, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Rotary.
Rotary. And Joy, please get that right during your ear. I am horrible at this bell. Why did they call it